All right, everybody. Welcome to the first edition of Tide Takes. I am Jonathan here alongside Casey, and we will be giving our unfiltered takes on Bama sports and a bunch of college football takes as well. I want to start with the Georgia game, and I'll pass it to you, Casey. So give me your thoughts on the Georgia game.
Well, I think the Georgia game mainly said like two things specifically. One, I think the head coach is a home run hire. I think it's I think it's basically a grand slam, and I think that game solidified that, put a lot of doubters at rest. People talked about his recruiting is poor. He's going to be the next what Brian Harson people called him.
Husky Harson.
He called him Harson. Well, look, he comes in and he kept what he needed to keep this team at a top level. He is what top two in recruiting right now. With if you look at the actual average rating per player, it's higher than Ohio State. So like it's a 1A 1B class. It's not like it's not that much above. And then another thing is, man, I think if our O line stays healthy, because they only gave up one, that we gave up no sack. I don't remember how many pressures. There wasn't very many pressures. But we gave up no sacks
I
against
think two
Georgia.
pressers.
Right? Two pressures, no sacks against Georgia's front. I don't care who's there, what big name guys are or aren't there. Georgia's front is always big and physical and fast. They have depth. They're able to rotate. So for them to not be able to get home even late when they're rotating fresher guys, it's really impressive. I think if the offensive line holds up, it's going to be tough to beat because that gives Milrow, time to do what he needs to do. So what do you think, buddy? That's kind of my like first reaction from the game the other night. Now here we are on Friday.
I mean, I think my first impression would be just how prepared we were coming out the gate. Like even if they hit Smith on that first pass,
Mm-hmm.
on that first drive, I don't yeah, the game flow might have changed, but like we were still gonna put that many points up regardless.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing Kirby was gonna do to stop that. I mean, you even saw it on his face during the game. He was kind of like, I mean, what am I supposed to do here? Jalen's going out there slinging it 11 for 11, running for like 80 yards in the first half. Like, what do you do there? There's nothing you can do.
You could see it
And
on his face after we went up 21-0. He was like, "Fuck me, man! Like,
like, what?
there's no
How am I
fucking way
supposed to?
it's
He
this
said it
easy."
after the game. He was like, they're like, oh, how are you going to double coverage Ryan Williams? He's like, what? They got like 10 other guys on the field, dude. And one of them is probably the best, most athletic player in the nation. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Like, I can't cover all of them.
How
I
about
mean,
y'all
it's
step out here and try to do my job?
yeah, but the way DeBoer, dude, and like people talk about, oh, there's going to be so much pressure on Kirby because he hasn't beaten Bama but one time, blah, 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 blah. Like, those people don't know Bama football. Like, I think the coach is a great hire. I don't think if we would have lost that game, it would have, put DeBoer on the hot seat. But he just started feeling the pressure because Bama's different, dude. Like, if we went out there and Georgia went up 28-0 on us and we came back close, dude, it would still be like, oh, we're shit, man. Tennessee's gonna kick our teeth in.
Yeah.
Like, if Georgia can put up that many points on us in the first half, oh, I'm Texas, Tennessee, oh hell no.
Yeah.
I think, and that's like Saban and Kirby in the early years, right? Like, you just knew early in the game, the other teams had that like desperation in the first half. Like, dude, we can't get anything going. There is nothing happening. We can't do anything on offense. We can't do anything on defense, and it drains the life out of the other teams. And to see that post Saban, I think that's the biggest takeaway. If we come out like that in every game, every big game we play, we most likely win it. I mean, you can't. you get spot 28, 21 points in the beginning of the game because of how you prepared. I like it.
Yeah,
There's maybe a couple teams who could overcome that. Like maybe,
there's not
Georgia
very many.
obviously proved they could. I mean, I don't think it's a lot of jump balls and 50-50s, and that you really can't make a living long term off of a game plan like that. But I
It's not
just,
even a
I'm,
game. It's not even a game
yeah, it's
plan.
just a,
You know,
well,
it's
hey,
it.
you got a freshman DB in his first SEC game. We got a senior, 2-year starter and receiver who's a massive dude. Where's you going to throw it over there?
Just
Especially when you have four downs to get everything. So you can waste two plays every drive, every
yeah.
single first down. I mean, I'm so impressed with how we started. Like I think that is the biggest thing in that game was how well
It
we
was
started.
preparation, like before game preparation, because the game. I mean, let's be honest. Yes, they came back. The game was over. I know they came back, and yes, I was stressing when they came back. I know you were too, probably. But like,
Of course.
of course. But even then, I just still felt this sense of no, mm-mm. It's just not going to happen. And I think offensively, it's been a long time. Even with Bryce Young, I think it's really been since Mac Jones. It's been what 4 years now? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This
Yeah.
is the 4 full years since we've came out and really just been able to not necessarily have our way with the defense, but essentially, where when we come off the bat, boom, score. Oh, that was different. When we pushed it down the field in just a few minutes and boom, score. It was a few minutes, but with like 10, 12 plays. Like it was a long drive in a short amount of time.
I think it
You
was
know,
like just a right around 3 minutes, maybe a little over, and 10
maybe a
plays on
little
the
over
first
towards,
drive. And they
yeah,
overcame
maybe
like
like,
four penalties.
I know, right? And so I'm sitting here going, man, like that was a very long, short, simple yet easy drive based off the skill set. I mean, obviously Milrow, evaded pressure when they sent guys. And I don't know if you actually saw that play where the guy they had a free rusher.
It was like that Bryce Young play against Texas, where he kind of does
Yeah,
that basketball
yeah.
dip to shoulder.
Now, when I actually saw the play, it looked like 77. It looked like he had like a moment where he could have at least kind of, got hands on the kid, whatever. But
I
Milrow
mean,
made it.
I would rather like when I played. I remember our left tackle in high school. They did a stunt off him, and I'm back there. I'm like, oh, dude, I hope you just block one of them. Just block
Just,
one of them, dude.
just
Just block
please,
one.
God,
And
get one of them.
this dude says, and then turns around and stares at me and didn't touch either one of them. I'm like, what? Just one. Just touch one of them, dude. I don't care. Just pick one.
Just
So I would
pick
rather
one,
him
damn
at
it.
least hit somebody than just stand there like a dadgum deer in the headlights.
But that was one of the pressures, And so look, for one of those pressures to turn up to be what a 15-yard play on was it second or third down?
It
I
was
don't know, it was
first.
huge.
It was first because
It was first.
Jam had a hole and he saw two linebackers there. Instead of just hitting it and getting a couple yards, he tried to bounce it and caused a holding penalty because the play wasn't designed to go over there. But
It was first. It was first and 20. Yes, it was because we got down there and it got the holding, and I was like, no, that's a drive killer. A drive, like you talking about a drive ender, a holding penalty in the red zone like that. I for sure thought the drive was over.
dude,
And then,
especially on a defense that hadn't given up a touchdown all year.
oh my gosh, we heard that bullshit in 2021, and the vaunted, the greatest ever, the
And then
just
Bryce goes and hangs 42 with J-Mo and the boys.
like, bro, quit thinking that you're just absolute gods. We didn't feel, that we were unstoppable, unbeatable. There was always skepticism going into games.
I mean, we felt good for sure.
We were
Like
extremely confident. Like those Clemson games. Like I was extremely confident in our team's ability. But there's always a chance. You know what I mean? There's always a
dude.
chance.
It's football.
But no, for Milrow to make that play, like, and I know Williams' play was great, Brown's play was great at the end. There's so many great plays, but for him to come out with first and 20 and to evade and not just evade. Didn't he get first down out of that, or right
I think
there
it was
at
like
it?
I think he got like it was like second and short after that because I
Yeah,
think he
dude. But for
stepped
him,
out of bounds.
yeah, that's right. That's right. He did get Starks though. Did you see Starks with the wobbly leg? He had Starks crab walking, dude. That was so funny. But no, that play was huge, man. I mean,
Yeah, I'd like it. I mean, and that's like it's what Kirby said at the end of the game. Like, I mean, we've had our best players on him and could not stop him.
couldn't.
Like Starks is a first round talent. Like I
Weren't
don't
going to.
like it. It's insane how fast he is. Like insane for the size he is, dude. Like kid is a freak. A
I mean,
freak.
and to that point, dude, as long as he remains relatively accurate with the
Oh,
deep ball, as long as he remains relatively accurate beyond 20, 15, 20 yards downfield, not saying the run game is always open, but the run game, golly, man, especially with his legs, you give him 10 blockers, 10 people to stand in the way of somebody else, and he can sit back and make decisions. Nah, dude, come on. Come on, man. Did you see him go around the edge? Oh no, you did on the 4th and 1. He was at like the 30-something, 40-yard line. And obviously, dude, when he turned the corner, he outran the secondary.
everyone.
Like he outran
And
them.
they had angles
He outran them. Why is he a quarterback?
because
how
he
is
can
he?
throw.
Because he can throw, man.
I mean, look,
And
we were down. I was the biggest doubter. Like
I
I'm not
know.
saying I never liked Jalen. I love Jalen. Kid bleeds for the university.
You were
He
the
bleeds
hard
Bama
you were
football.
like one of his hardest critics though, for sure.
Oh, because I mean, like I'm looking at it, and we talked about this before. I'm like we were spoiled. We went through four. If you include Jalen, he was a borderline first round guy. Um, Jalen was a borderline first round guy.
Uh-oh.
Gum dogs, dude, just going crazy. We went through like
Same.
4 or 5 first round quarterbacks in a row.
Yeah.
NFL quarterbacks. Jalen wasn't that with us when he was there, but
Nope.
I mean, to go from that, the number one overall draft pick at quarterback, to go from that to Jalen, especially last year, I said I'm not comparing him to Tebow. Don't get me wrong. I'm not comparing him to Tebow. Tebow has had one of the greatest college football careers we've ever seen. But he's a good college quarterback. He would start, even last year, he would start at most programs. But the step he's taken this year, dude, my quarrels with him were he can't see the blitz, right? He doesn't know where the pressure is gonna come from. He doesn't know where his options are when the blitz does happen. And we were, the USF game, I get it. He didn't have his offensive line back there with him to block and everything, but like, it worried me. I'm not gonna lie, it worried me. Because I'm like, if and Wisconsin's Wisconsin, we just bullied them up front. So I mean, like, there's nothing to really talk about there. But like, he saw it in the Georgia game. He saw it. DeBoer had him seeing where to go with the football pre-snap, and that
Right.
was always his hangup. Always his hangup was he did not like when something happened, like Michigan last year, towards the end of the game. I remember they sent like an outside linebacker, strong safety on a blitz after the offensive line slid left. He knew his offensive line was sliding left. You have to watch that guy to see what he does. If he comes, then you got to make a decision right there. Do I try to outrun him to the edge, or do I throw it to somebody? But he just stood there, ran 15 yards back, and took a sack. That was the story of last year.
Yep, it was.
Somehow last year we were like whatever, like one of the worst teams in the nation for sacks. But if you look at time to throw, we were up well above in the top half, probably around the top 25 for time to throw.
Yep.
So there's a discrepancy there, right? And I think that was Jalen Milroe's inability to recognize pre-snap. I mean, dude, we went through like three of the greatest pre-snap readers in college football. You know, I'm not
So
saying they are the best, but like Mac Jones, Bryce, Tua, those dudes knew. Like they knew what the defense was doing. They knew where to go with the football. They saw it. Jalen could not see it last year. And if he's seeing it and he is hitting his spots like he did against Georgia, dude, I don't. Good luck. Good luck stopping it. I mean, their
so,
team's
so
going to
I
put
was
points on us.
so I was watching a little podcast the other day. It was on Joel Klatt was talking about it, and he said last year Jalen was top 5 in deep balls, top 5 in 5 yards or less, but in between he was like 97th or 98th in the country. You know, this year he's still top 5 in both, but he's top 40 in the country in between. You know, and you know how deep balls and checkdowns are short routes. A lot of times those are like predetermined. Yo, I'm gonna go this guy. Like, you know, I'm gonna look for it early and I'm gonna sling it deep, or you know, that's my guy. I'm gonna get it too early, regardless if it's a blitz or whatever the case is. But that intermediate stuff, you got to let those develop. You know what I mean? You have to make sure that the coverage that you get once the ball's snapped is what you want to be able to throw it. So those take time, you know, and what I think he's doing a better job of, and I don't know if you or people have noticed it a lot, I'm sure you have, like he's got a predetermined way to go. And he understands that that guy is going to be hot. Well, he finds a guy in that intermediate to where he's able to see the defense, and if he sees it and he likes it, cool. If he doesn't, I feel like he's done a better job of finding his short out or his short check down to where if he's trying to go an intermediate, it's okay, but he's doing a better job of no, get it to the for sure reception and allow that guy to try to make a play. And if it doesn't work, great, you're not putting the ball in harm's way. And a 3-yard check down's a hell of a lot better than an errant throw or a pass deflection. You know what I mean? Because there is confidence in moving the ball. You know, it's like a 3-point shooter. If you miss one, you miss one. You get to the free throw line, you score points. You score points. The rhythm gets going. You know what I mean? You start to get hot a little bit. So completing every pass matters. That's why DJ, Uyunglele or whatever has been
Ukulele.
That's why he's just been so out of sorts because, bro, he's not even hitting the simple screen passes. He's not even hitting the simple checkdowns, And so, like, for him, like, everything's out of sorts. But for Milroe, dude, I just think, one, he's doing a better job in the intermediate. But I also think the schemes are better.
Dude, it's night and day, dude.
I mean, no offense, Tommy Reese, it just felt like prehistoric. Just everyone was running like 15 to 20 yards downfield. Like we're running like flood concepts.
Dude, it was like the Bill O'Brien 2.0. But
just basic.
Jalen's not Jalen. Jalen might go to be that guy. He might end up that guy this year under DeBoer, but that was not him last year. He was not. He could not see the field like that.
But what I think is happening, do you notice how much pre-snap motion that we do on the offense? Insane. So, like,
and it's little, dude. We'll go from a 3 bunch to a little more spread out 3 on the same side, and then that little bit.
And then we'll send a guy across the field in motion to see if they're in man or zone. Like, coach is putting people in motion or checking the formation to give the quarterback the information that he needs to be able to make those predetermined, decisions before the ball snap, like I was talking about earlier. Like, he's able to see, which is something Jalen isn't like the absolute best at. So what is our coach doing? Like, that's not a strength for Jalen. Our coach is like giving the info to him. I mean, it's genius, bro. It's genius. Almost every play, someone's going across the field. Almost every play. And even if
it's someone who can get the edge. too. Like,
Yeah. Like one goes in motion. I swear, like every play. Um, and that's the threat. Because if he goes in motion, whatever. But if he goes in motion and you're not expecting it, because we don't run it often. But if he goes in motion and you just do the little touch pass right there, what? You're not ready for it. That guy could, that's almost a guaranteed first down if your defense isn't prepared. And not to mention, you saw what the motion did for Milrow on the wheel route that he hit, which was God. Could
like, dude, that
could you throw it any better, dude? I
no,
mean, no. But
you
like
can't.
that was one of those things where I think all stars aligned against Georgia. You know what I mean? But he like that motion, that linebacker, he wasn't staying with him. He was just kind of slow trailing him. And then when he realized what he was doing, you saw three, their guy, you saw three kick it in gear like, oh shit, I'm fried. Like he's like, oh fuck, coach, no. Yeah, he's like, oh shit. And it
I think he was about the center guard when you see him like, oh crap.
oh shit, he takes off. Like he realizes kind of what's going on. Like, yo, he's not slowing down. He's running full speed, and I don't know. I think it's genius. People look at that play and go, "Oh, what a great play!" But if you really think about like how just nails on a chalkboard it was to watch the offense last year, I mean,
Ugh.
how many QB powers did we run last year? Like one, and to
Two or
seal the
three.
deal in the
I don't think we ran any until we got to
to
Georgia.
seal the deal in the SEC championship game with the big long run. That was a QB design run. But like when we ran it in my mind, because we were in the stands, I looked at the guy who was sitting next to us. I was like, bro, why don't we? Where's that been? I was like, you learn to let him get people to block. I was like, that is insane, dude. Like, what are we freaking doing, man?
I wanna change pace here a touch and go over something that you brought up to me earlier this week. With you said that one, we are in a better spot with DeBoer right now than Saban, and that Saban should get more props for his ability to see what this team what this team has, and know that he was not going to be the one to get this team what they needed to get where they needed to go.
Yeah. So what do you want me to do? You just want me to kind of tell you?
Yeah, just go back into your point on that.
Oh, a lot of people mention it. Saban, and it wasn't just like us or our dads or other people. Like Saban has struggled to, get the coordinators he wanted. Because I mean, for the longest time, it wasn't just like he wasn't able to get coordinators in the last few years. Like look. Speaking of UGA, how long are their coordinators staying for? Like you have defensive assistants lined up. So when this one goes, this one stays. This one go. You know what I mean? So where those guys at the bottom, they're in the program for 6, 7, 8 years so far, 5, 6 years, whatever. But anyways, the coaching turnover was it was just so frequent because it became, if you get the Alabama coordinator position, you're guaranteed a head coaching job within 2 years. Guaranteed. And I would say worst case 3 years, except for Pete Golding.
Or an NFL coordinator spot, dude. Pete,
or an NFL coordinator spot.
This is a no Pete bearded sloth zone. It's like Voldemort, bro. We're not speaking his name.
Yeah.
Not gonna speak that dude's name. He deserves 0 time on the internet, bro.
Yeah.
0.
So to that point, like you've said, I think you said it this week too. Remember, he wanted Ryan Grubbs. Remember, he wanted the offensive line coach well before. So like the fact that he couldn't get Grubbs and the fact that he couldn't build the dynamic offense that this team is built for. This ain't a pro style offense. They ain't your typical drop back spread offense. This is a dynamic multiple offense. And I don't mean multiple as far as I form pro style spread. Like, you know what I mean? I mean multiple as far as like, we're going to give you a bunch of freaking looks, a bunch of different plays out of those different looks. You know, hell, we may run the same play out of 5 different looks. It just, you know what I
And dude,
mean?
on top of that, like I don't even think we've scratched the surface. This is a side note, but I don't even think we've scratched the surface of what we can run.
I
Like,
don't think so either.
the jet sweep to QB power, like
Yeah.
there's so much that we can do when we need to, and I think it's insane. But
And I
yeah,
think
like
and I
go
think
ahead.
Saban, he was struggling to get the offensive guys, and he realized, yo, if I'm able to step away, one, because he felt like he always said, if he feels like he's not able to provide the team what the team and the organization, not the organization, the team and the university and these kids deserve, then if I can't do that job at the highest level, I have to step away. And he realized that he wasn't able to get people. He was having to take on a heavy recruiting load. You know, I
I
just
think
realized.
I wanna make a point on that too. Um, I want to clarify something for anybody who decides to watch us. We are not saying that if you put DeBoer and Saban together in a vacuum, we would choose DeBoer. Of course, we would pick Saban. We would pick Saban,
No.
of course. But like
Yeah.
right now, as you said,
Currently.
Saban could not get the coordinator,
Today.
yeah, today. Like, and
Yeah.
every recruiting room he went into, every recruit's home, I mean, he literally went into an interview for a coordinator, came out and said, "Screw it, I'm done," and went and talked to the team that night and said, "I'm retired." Because I think like that was now I'm guarantee you that's what every conversation was with every coordinator he called. Well, coach, how long you staying? I kind of want to know how long you're going to be there.
Well, does it
Before I
matter?
commit.
You're only going to be at our school for 2, 3 years anyway. So what's it matter what he does?
No, like
What's
I
it
just,
matter?
and I
But
think
today's world, like not necessarily today's world, like current. If Saban was in his prime, I'm taking Saban over to Boer right
every,
now. No questions asked.
yeah,
Because
he's
people
got
say,
7 natties. Like, no, of course you
yeah,
take
and
him.
people are going to say, well, it's got something to do with NIL. It's got something to do. People
Oh,
forget that Bryce Young was one of the first $1 million quarterbacks in the country, if not the first $1 million
dude, I'm
quarterback.
pretty sure Bryce Young was making $1 million before he started. The year he sat behind Mac, I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
his NIL was like
yeah,
$1
his
million.
NIL was already $1 million. That's what I'm saying.
Like,
It's a backup quarterback. So don't say NIL spooked him. Don't say recruiting spooked him with transfer portal because JMO, Gibbs,
Gibbs.
hey, Landon Dickerson. I mean, go down the list of play. Hey, Trey Amos was a very good player for us last year.
I mean, dude, before that, we were getting grad student transfers. Jake Coker won a national championship.
Come on, bro. Like these people are just losing their minds to say that. But like currently, I think DeBoer. If you take Saban today and DeBoer today, Alabama is in a better place with DeBoer today, with his youth, with just kind of also the way that he is with the players. And I don't mean Saban was bad. Saban was great. Everyone that played for him, that played and stuff, they loved him, loved the guy. They still love the guy, but I don't know. I see DeBoer able to connect with the players and the people on a more personal level from the outside looking in. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think like
yeah,
one, he doesn't have to go in there and explain how he's not retiring. Like
right.
that's not what the recruiting visit centers are.
Yeah,
It's
because
centers around,
recruits
hey,
asked him the same thing. It wasn't just coordinators.
no, it was
Recruits.
recruits too. Like, and he talked about it for the last like 2, 3 years. He talked about it. So I think earlier this season, before the season started, the players were saying, "Hey, I think it was maybe Jalen said it. He's like, the ones who stayed, we stayed for Bama. We came to Bama. We're staying for Bama. We are Bama." And
Yeah.
I think that's a testament to DeBoer, right? Like, dude, you lose the greatest coach of all time. And yes, dude, we knew Downs was leaving at the SEC championship game. Ohio State had already made their play. We knew he was taking the money. He was gone regardless of Saban retiring. I don't care what people says. That's a fact. So was Proctor, which now he's back. So I don't even know how that worked out. Like he's like, Iowa is not Bama. I'm gonna get wasted up here. Okay,
I
back to
think
Bama.
I think Downs was highly flirting with it, and then once Saban was gone, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely gone now." I think him because didn't he transfer like shortly after, uh, or hit the portal shortly after Saban?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
look, I get it.
I
Everybody
don't
talks
think
to all the recruits and crap, whatever. But like, we knew that he was most likely gone after the Ohio State game, regardless
the
of what
kid's
happened.
worth the kid's worth too much money, and someone was gonna pay him more than Alabama, and that's just a
Yeah,
fact. Someone was going to, and it was just a matter of did he want the money or did he not? You
no, I
know?
agree. I think, but yeah, no, I really do think. Mo- Maybe not. I mean, I do think this season we're in a better spot now, right now, with DeBoer than we are Saban. And that's not saying Saban is a terrible coach and we should have fired him for DeBoer last year. No, no, I'm not saying anything like that.
No, with
I
DeBoer
just
being
think,
what? Like DeBoer's what? Like upper 40s, like
yeah,
50,
I think
and
it's like
Saban
48, 49,
and
something like that. Like,
Saban what? 73, 74.
yeah, yeah, he's up
Like I
there.
like I told you, Saban got out before it turned into Joe Paterno.
Yep.
Before it
Or
turned into
Bowden.
Bobby Bowden. Before he was just a zombie on the sidelines. No offense to those individuals, they're just old. They're
Going
just
8-4, 7-3.
yeah. Before the program just became just like a circus for the old man. Like he got out. This is what I was telling you. Like that just solidified Saban as the greatest of all time. For him to recognize what he had, for him to understand, like, I got to get people around these kids that are good enough to win a national championship. Not saying we're going to, but they're good enough. I got to get people around these kids that can bring them closer and give them the feeling and the sense of security and like not necessarily comfort, but you know what I mean? Like they're here to stay, coaches are here to stay. And for him to turn it over like that was truly amazing, bro. Like no one has ever, in my opinion, I don't know. I'm only 27 and 30, basically. I don't think anyone has
It's
stepped
3 years.
away. Huh?
Just keep going, bro.
What?
I said it's 3 years. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
That's right.
Um, like I just don't think anyone has ever turned over a program like that. I don't think anyone's ever turned over a program like that. Like that I know of someone turned a program. I guess hey, I guess Saban and LSU. That's you
Yeah,
know
but that's still a different reason though. Like he went pro. Like he didn't just leave the game.
he
You
didn't
know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that.
you're right. And the longevity hadn't been established yet with
Mhm.
LSU. So I mean, God, yeah, I mean, holy cow.
Yeah, and
The
I've been seeing comments. I think even Barstool said something along the lines, but they're doing those over glancing, just click takes, right? Like, oh, saving the board, saving the board better. It's not like anything tangible or um, it's nothing that like you can grasp onto. Like they don't bring up the coordinators, they don't bring up recruiting. Yeah, they bring up recruiting, but they're like, oh, well, he's recruiting too. It's like, yeah, of course, coaches recruit.
yeah, no shit. Courses recruit.
What are we talking about here? Like
Hey,
actually Do you know anything? No. Okay. So next.
What bigger? Speaking of recruiting, what bigger recruit has DeBoer gotten than Williams so far?
Bro.
Holy shit!
Dude, I know that kid is so glad he didn't go to Auburn. Like,
Oh
dude,
my gosh!
Peyton Thorpe throwing you the football, bro.
He's so bad you didn't even say his name correctly.
Yeah,
You called him
Thorne or whatever. Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, whatever, bro. The kid is like boo boo.
Poor kid, dude. He's just
I mean,
bad.
dude, that's Hugh Freeze, man.
When your coach in your post game says, "Look, y'all, we just got to get a quarterback that'll stop throwing the ball to the other team," when he says that, you know it's rough.
Bro, I mean,
Auburn.
what I think, we got like 2.5 minutes before our intermission, and we'll start up part two. But I think I want to end part one on this, right? I cannot believe, right? Like DeBoer, we knew, right? Coming in, we're like, oh, he's a good coach, right? He's a good coach. He's won everywhere, blah, 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 all the ESPN.
And you and me believed hard. We were hardcore believing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, dude, his offensive scheme, the only thing we were truly worried about was Milroe going to be able to take that next step. And if he could get Milroe to take that next step, dude, it would look something masterful. And so far he's proven that he was able to do it, which blows my mind. Like,
well, if you go look, you see Michael Penix, different quarterback than Milroe. But if you look at who was his quarterback at Sioux Falls, he was a dual threat quarterback. And that dual threat quarterback, he's already ran an offense for a dual threat guy. And then you get Keelan Russell. Why do you think Keelan Russell might be so, why it might be so appealing to him?
Dude, even Ty Simpson has a little bit of that dual threat ability.
A little bit. What? The white boy can go.
Okay, yeah, white boy can go. I mean, there ain't many that can go like Milroe, but that white boy got some wheels, dude. Oh man.
Make us proud. Make us proud.
All right, I think we're gonna stop part one here.
Yeah.
And then we'll pick back up. We'll take a little intermission, and then we'll pick up back with part two. So I'll see you in a second.
All right, peace.